Welcome to Crime Light, where we shine a light on real crimes, real stories, and the truths hidden in the dark.
On the morning of October 4th, 2011, a quiet neighborhood in Kansas City, Missouri, woke up to a mystery that would quickly draw national attention. 10-month-old Lisa Irwin had vanished from her crib sometime during the night. There were no screams reported, no signs of a break-in, and no clear trail leading away from the home. Within hours, police, the FBI, and hundreds of volunteers began searching for answers. But what they found instead were contradictions, unanswered questions, and a case that remains unsolved more than a decade later. Lisa Irwin was the youngest of 3 children, born in November 2010. At 10 months old, she was described as healthy, active, and developmentally on track. Family members said she was beginning to crawl and interact more with her surroundings. Lisa shared a bedroom with one of her brothers, while her parents and other child slept elsewhere in the home. Those who knew the family described their routine as fairly typical. Nothing in the days leading up to October 3rd suggested anything out of the ordinary. According to her mother, Deborah Bradley, Lisa was bathed and fed early that evening. Deborah later stated that she had been drinking alcohol that night, a fact she voluntarily disclosed and which would later become a focal point of public scrutiny. She said Lisa was placed into her crib around 6:40 p.m., wearing pajamas and a diaper. Lisa's father, Jeremy Irwin, was working an overnight shift at a nearby job and left the house earlier that evening. He would not return home until after the discovery that Lisa was missing. Deborah reported checking on the children periodically before going to bed around 10:30 p.m. Deborah later told investigators she woke briefly around 1 a.m. to attend to one of the boys, and again around 4 a.m. It was during this second wake-up that she entered Lisa's room and noticed something was wrong. The crib was empty. The bedroom window was open, and the screen appeared to have been removed. Lisa was nowhere in the house. Deborah called 911 immediately. Police arrived within minutes. Officers quickly confirmed that Lisa was not inside the home. An Amber Alert was issued, and the Kansas City Police Department launched a full-scale investigation. During the initial search, investigators noted several details that stood out. There were no clear signs of forced entry. No usable fingerprints were recovered. No blood or physical evidence suggested an injury. 3 cell phones belonging to Deborah Bradley were missing from the home. The missing phones would become one of the most puzzling elements of the case. The open nursery window became a central focus early on. The screen had been removed, but investigators questioned whether someone could realistically enter and exit the home through that window while carrying a child, without leaving evidence or waking anyone. The neighborhood was searched extensively. Officers canvassed nearby homes, reviewed tips, and questioned neighbors, but no one reported seeing or hearing anything suspicious during the night. Deborah Bradley reported that 3 of her cell phones were missing. Investigators attempted to track the devices, but they were never recovered. Police never publicly confirmed whether the phones were turned off, destroyed, or simply unrecoverable due to battery loss. The disappearance of the phones raised speculation, but authorities were careful not to draw conclusions without physical evidence. Over the next several days, hundreds of volunteers joined law enforcement in searching nearby fields, wooded areas, dumpsters, and bodies of water. The FBI officially joined the case. Trash routes were traced, leading to searches at local landfills. One tip prompted a massive landfill search after a witness claimed to see a man carrying what appeared to be a baby late that night. Despite extensive efforts, no evidence connected to Lisa was found. As the case gained national attention, Deborah Bradley's statements and demeanor became the subject of intense public analysis. Interviews were replayed repeatedly, and inconsistencies, some minor, some more noticeable, were highlighted by the media. Police acknowledged that some statements had changed over time, but emphasized that this is not uncommon in traumatic situations. Importantly, investigators stated publicly that there was no physical evidence directly implicating either parent. Deborah Bradley was never arrested or charged. The FBI remained involved as the case transitioned from an Amber Alert response to a long-term missing child investigation. Federal authorities continued to review tips and analyze evidence, though much of their work remained confidential due to the ongoing nature of the case. Despite years of investigation, no confirmed sightings of Lisa Irwin have ever been reported. Over time, multiple theories emerged, ranging from stranger abduction to accidental harm followed by concealment. However, law enforcement has never publicly endorsed a single definitive explanation. What makes the case so difficult is the absence of physical evidence. Without forensic proof, investigators are limited to timelines, statements, and circumstantial details, none of which have conclusively explained what happened. Lisa Irwin has never been found. Her disappearance remains an open and active investigation. No arrests have been made, and no suspects have been publicly named. For investigators, the hope remains that new information, even years later, could provide the missing piece needed to understand what happened during those overnight hours. More than a decade later, the disappearance of Lisa Irwin remains unresolved. A baby vanished from her crib without leaving behind answers, only questions that have never been fully explained. For her family, investigators, and the public, the case stands as a reminder of how quickly certainty can disappear, and how some mysteries refuse to be neatly resolved. Thank you for watching Crimelight, where we shine a light on real cases and real stories. Drop a like if you enjoyed. If you're new here, subscribe and join the community of truth seekers. Another case drops soon.